Hey, how are you? Good to see you again, beautiful friends. This is Suzanna Kaye of Spark Organizing, and I'm a little bit late today, but I made it. It's one of those things. Thankfully, it's because I was so super focused on what I was doing, and I completely lost track of time. So I'm glad that you're here for me, and understand I am human too, all the time, too often. Anyhow, I'm glad that you're joining me today. I wanted to talk about my T accounts for decision making. I know that last week we talked a little bit about decision making and how it works with your SMART goals and how to make better decisions that way. And I told you that I would let you in on my secret little worksheet that I use in order to make my decisions on what's a priority, what's a goal that's a priority versus tasks on my to-do list, and just whenever I'm having a tough time figuring out what I should be focusing on, this is one of the things that I do that really helps me clarify where I'm at, where I want to be, and what will get me there. So let me set the scene for you. First off, I recently, as an example, was launching 365 Project. I was running the Spark Organizing business, blogging, doing social media, and creating all the content that I love to share with everybody. And it was tax time, and I have a family and all of those things, in addition to everything else. With all of this, you can imagine my to-do list was forever long. It's ridiculous. And I was feeling really overwhelmed about how long my to-do list was, and I could not tell what was the most important thing to do on it versus, what could wait for later. It all seemed super urgent and on fire, and I don't know about you, but have you ever felt like an elephant is standing on your chest and you just can't breathe from the anxiety of it? This is the point that I've gotten to many times in my life, and recently with the launch of 365 Project, as fun as that is, that's a whole lot of work. So recently I felt that again, the whole elephant standing on my chest. Everything is on fire and urgent and needs to be done right now. Pardon me. So as I dealt with that, I had a problem because I teach productivity. Like, how can I be feeling so overwhelmed? And if I'm feeling this overwhelmed, everybody else gets this way too. But it was so embarrassing because this is what I teach. Like, I should know this. So I dug really deep down inside to figure out, okay, if a client was having this issue, which they have, and at the time I was not coaching yet, if a client was having this problem, how would I help them solve it? So that's when I came up with my T account. Basically, the T account helps me determine, if you've heard of me talk of the top three, my top three decisions, the priorities for the day. That is where you look at your to-do list and figure out what three things are the most important for you that will get you closest to your goals and fit in with your values and move you furthest ahead, or keep the worst of the worst things from happening. But knowing the top three, how to decide those top three was where I was getting stuck, and where I know that a number of other people get stuck too. And that's when I created my T account. Now, many of you know I have a background in finance. So in finance, the T account basically is, it looks kind of like this, where there's a line, and I should probably see if I could, I don't know if I can still switch this around and make it so it's not backwards. There. Because otherwise this will look backwards for you, thanks to Facebook. But a T account normally is, because the T that divides it. And normally it's just credits on one side and debits on the other, and things balance out. I use the same structure in order to figure out what my things that could catch fire versus my biggest gains could be. And this relates to when I'm going through goals, which goals I want to set and really focus on right then, as well as my top tasks, those time-consuming tasks. So I brought my finance into my workday with my T account. Now, if you want to get a copy of, I made a prettier copy for people, and outlines exactly how to fill it out. If you want to get one, just send me a Facebook message or email me at susanna@sparkorganizing.com, and I'll send you this copy, which is much prettier. But sometimes I have this on hand, and sometimes I am just with a piece of paper and I'm scrawling. Since this one's bigger, I'll go for the scrawling first. Now, this is one that I recently was working on, and I just did not have enough time in the day, so I was looking at my tasks and trying to figure out which of the tasks were the most important and what the benefits and consequences were of them. Some of the things that are included on the T account, first off, the task name. Pardon me, getting over a throat thing. The task name, and then which goal it applies to. So, for example, one of my goals is to have over 200 happy organizing customers and be one of the best places to work with Spark Organizing. And pay my staff is one of the tasks that I was trying to think, is this something I need to work on today or tomorrow? You know, this was in my list of all the things that could be catching fire or being a big game. Another thing on the list is write my book with Rochelle. And that's part of my goal, one of my top goals of launching 3 products this year, because there's just so much in my head that I would love to get out and be at a lower price point for people. The next part of this list, once you've written out the things that you think are the most urgent, I write fire and gain at the top. The reason I do this is some things will create fires if I don't do them, and some things will give me the biggest gain by doing them. This will help me just see, am I looking at benefits or consequences? Along with that task item, I write down, and it's much clearer on the goal sheet, but I would write down what the benefit is if it's in the gain column. So for writing the book, the benefits would be that I would gain, an unknown amount of money from the sale of the book, which is great. That's why we're in business, right? And then also I would be able to increase my audience reach and help more people than I can help one-on-one with everybody, because not everybody fits into the one-on-one model. And for paying staff, since it's in the fire column, I write the consequences. So the consequences of not paying my staff would be that they would be an unhappy staff. They would probably quit. I would not blame them, and they would most likely have poor performance with the customers because they would be a bit resentful, as would I. So if it's the deadline for paying my staff, that's obviously got a huge fire, and that does relate to my goal of having happy customers and being the best place to work, because I will achieve neither if I don't pay my staff. So those 2 are on the list in fire and gain. Along with that, I also write the time estimated for the project. Some of them are no-brainers. So the fact that my pay staff is 30 minutes on the list tells me a lot. That tells me that this is probably something that I can easily fit into the day. While my working on writing the book is more along the 2 hours minimum line. So that's going to be a larger commitment during my day. Once I've written all of these out, I have a much clearer picture of what my gain is going to be by completing a task. Another example would be to call some of the people who've called me to get organizing services, locally or virtually, to call them back. That's kind of important. So the gain would be a huge gain on that one, because that's the only way my business can grow, is to make those calls, either myself or Mary, my assistant, to make those calls, and that would gain me money, and it would also keep my reputation as a business up there, because I pride myself on having a 5-star business and good reputation and being responsive to people, and that would fall away if I did not. So that's another example of a big gain, and it does not take a lot of time, so I can see what can fit in my day based on what my biggest gains are, what the biggest fires are that would occur if I did not do it. Now, that being said, just like everybody, my to-do list will never be done. The whole to-do list simply cannot ever be completed. And also, there's always more ideas than time to do them. So this can help me sort out some of the ideas that are urgent versus what really has to happen right now. But remember, when you're selecting what's going to go in your day, if it can't fit on a Post-it note, it probably won't fit in your day. And I write big, so my Post-it notes maybe hold 2 or 3 large items on them. I might choose the call leads back and write for the book and pay my staff, and those might be the only 3 things that I get done that day. So being realistic really helps me. But the fact that I always know my top 3, and I'm always working on those 3 things that are going to move me the closest to my goal or prevent me from suffering the biggest consequences, like, paying my taxes, huge consequences with that one, paying my staff. That way I can sleep at night. It has been such a great result to be sleeping well at night, knowing that even though all of the urgent did not get done, at least the things that were most important did. There was nothing on my list that was more important than what I did work on, and my T account spreadsheet helped me figure that out. Also, it keeps me on target with my goals. There are so many times where we have fires and things that can have great gains, but they don't fit with the goals that are currently important to you. So they aren't really as high of a priority, even though they might seem like it. So writing the book, while it is one of my top goals, it is not my top goal. My top goal would still be those 200 happy customers and being the best place to work. If I have an equivalent task, that's one's write the book and one is going to reach me towards those 200 clients, then I'm going to go for the 200 clients in this year. Because last year I only probably did about 150, so this year I want to increase that. But I can't increase that if I'm not working towards it. So it always keeps me working towards my current goals and keeps me from doing my usual squirrel action of getting really distracted. There's a nut over there, check that one out. That one looks like fun, before completing what I'm actually working on. I hope that this helped you out. And like I said, if you do want a copy of my prettier version of the worksheet that you can use to help analyze your own priorities, whether it is figuring out which goals to work towards, because they can all seem important, or if it's managing your to-do list and figuring out those priorities, just shoot me an email, Suzanna@sparkorganizing.com, and I will also post that in the notes at the bottom, or you can also stop by Facebook and just send me a message through Facebook Messenger on the Spark Organizing page, and I will shoot that over to you, no problem. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Again, my name is Suzanna Kaye. I'm with Spark Organizing. You can find us at sparkorganizing.com or reach us at 321-234-5499. You can also text us there anytime, day or night. 321-234-5499. That is where I teach my productivity coaching, and it's also where we do home organizing one-on-one with you. And as I mentioned, 365 project right now has launched for March, and this March we are doing our home office. What 365 is, it is an email a day with a quick task that you can do in order to reduce clutter and gain efficiency and comfort in a different space each month. Like I said, this month we're working on the office, so it would cover things like setting up a system for managing your papers, reducing clutter, getting control of those office supplies, all of those things, just one task a day. Also within that week, we have a day where we talk about a concept, an organizing concept that's going to mentally help you change your way of thinking and habits and grow with the organizing basics that the professional organizers would normally bring with them as knowledge with you if they worked with you. And also we have a gratitude day where it helps you shift your focus and really look at things in a new way. All of these happen in your email box. All you have to do is stop by my365project.com to find out more and to sign up. As I mentioned today, we just started the office, so hop over today so you don't miss out too much on this month. And you'll get whatever we have already sent out this month. If you're joining in the middle of the month, if you see this video a little bit late, that's okay. When you sign up, we can send you the previous emails for the month, but you'll just be a little bit behind the 8 ball because you won't have quite as much time to complete the actions. I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. And in the comments below, let me know what is more difficult for you. Is it goal setting? Is it figuring out what to do on your to-do list and those priorities? What's going on and what's your biggest challenge? I look forward to seeing you next week at 11 o'clock. I won't be late if you won't, and I will see you then. Have a beautiful day. I love you.